Hey everybody, welcome to episode 32 of the 5 Barista Files. Today is Sunday, April 17th. This is going to be kind of a quick episode because I'm expecting my daddy to show up at any point. He said he's coming to visit today, so he said early afternoon. Could be 12:30, could be 6. Really have no idea. So I'm going to try and make this fast. It's hard to go fast because there's been a lot going on. And I don't have show notes, so I apologize in advance for any ums or spacing outs because that happens a lot. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Why don't I go ahead and get started? I'm going to show you what's been in the dye pots this week. This stuff, actually, most of it is from last week's dye pots. I spent all day Saturday and Sunday in the dye pots, and when I took a break to record on Sunday, there was a bunch of stuff that hadn't been dried or reskeined, and that, quite frankly, I wasn't really pleased with. A lot of the times when I'm done dyeing, especially sock yarn, when I look at it, it looks kind of messy and I'm not really pleased with it. So I end up waiting to even think about how I like it until it's reskeined. So now that it's reskeined, I like it a lot better, and I'll show it to you this week. On the drying racks right now upstairs, I have lace weight, which is not going to go in this week's update. I'm going to hold back my lace, and I also have 5 pounds of Polworth that I haven't started to dye yet. That also I'm going to hold back for the show. I realize I still have a little bit over a month, but the more that I get squared away and put away and set aside now, the easier it will be for me come the 3rd week in May when I'm panicking because I don't have anything for the show. So if I have a chance, if this update goes well tomorrow night, Monday night, if the update goes well, I will buy some more lace, and that will be available for purchase. Excuse me. Pardon me. I've been cleaning today because Daddy is coming, so there's a lot of dust and stuff in the air. So if you see things flying past the screen, it's because I just swept the floor. So I think I could spin a new cat with the amount of cat hair I got. So, all right. Sock yarn. Let's start with sock yarn. I did 2 repeat colorways in the sock yarn and 2 new colorways in the sock yarn. The new ones I was a little bit less pleased with at first, but now that they're all done and ready to go, I like them a lot. As far as the repeats go, the Acadia Fiber Festival takes place in Southwest Harbor, which is right on the ocean in the island of, what is the name of the island? It's Bar Harbor anyway. So Sea Glass, being an oceany themed sock yarn, is one that's usually pretty popular. Now this one and this one are unreskeined. You can see I flip-flopped them so that the end that I photograph is different. It starts out with a sort of a baby blue and an oceany green and then fades. What I do is I take the 2 dyes and I actually dip the yarn. I'm holding the yarn, and one's in the blue and one's in the green, and then when the dye is absorbed, I pull them out and lay them flat in the turkey roaster, and then I pour the remaining bits of dye in the bowls. I put them together, and it makes this really soft, almost pastel green, and then I pour that over the remaining white areas. When you reskein it, and this didn't reskein terribly well, but when you reskein it, it looks like this. It would be great for like baby boy sweaters, or even a baby girl, I think. Even though it's blue, I think it would work. Or a real soft shawlette, maybe. I love this colorway. This is a pretty popular colorway, especially, in the coastal areas. So I'm hoping that will do well. Of course, this is going to go in this week's update, so maybe I'll get really lucky and y'all buy it, and I'll have to dye up some more. When you dip dye, when you put them into the pots, it takes 0 time whatsoever to dye. You just dunk them in and then set them in the pan and then cook them. So that's Sea Glass. Another repeat colorway is Heather's Dilemma. I first dyed this up for the Yarn for Socks website as a custom colorway, and now I was the February featured artist of the month, and now that it's no longer February, I can re-dye it and sell it my own. So this is called Heather's Dilemma. It's called Heather's Dilemma because I had no idea what to freaking name it. And a friend of mine said, well, hey, that's quite a dilemma you got there. And I was like, oh, look at that, Heather's Dilemma. I did reskein all of these because I like them better reskeined. You can see it. It's a bronzy gold and then a maroon red, and a pretty regular medium middle of the road blue. I think these are gorgeous. I did do this when I lay the pan and the yarn in the turkey rooster. It's folded in half. It's a 2-yard skein that's folded in half, so it's about a yard. And I did 6 colors. I did I don't remember the exact order, but it was gold, blue, red, gold, blue, red. So over the yard, it repeats quite often, so they're really short. I mean, each color is only about that long, a couple of inches maybe, so it pools less as you knit it up. So that's Heather's Dilemma. These 3 are also going to be on Monday's update. Of course, now my nose is going to run because I just sneezed. Sorry. So 2 new colorways. This one, I was basically playing around with some dyes. I played around with this chocolate brown dye, and you'll see all of the colors I got out of it. None of the colors I got was chocolate brown. That dye is going to be in timeout for a little while because I'm not pleased with how it's just not doing what I want it to do. And you know what? I really don't have time to mess around with stuff that doesn't do what I want it to do. So this is called Terracotta Pot. Terracotta Pot. I'm sorry about the light today, guys. It's raining. We're supposed to get 1.5 inches of rain today, and so we're under flood watch, and there's been wind gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. It's been kind of crazy today. So anyways, Terracotta Pot, and this goes from the orange, that terracotta pot colored orange, into what is supposed to be chocolate brown, but realistically, I mean, there's a little bit of chocolate brown right in there, but mostly it's almost like a purpley brown, like a burgundy brown. It's a really interesting shade. I like it, but I mean, even you can see that looks on the screen, it looks more purple than it does brown. And I did the same, I did 2 that I left unreskeined because I liked that you could see that this has a longer color repeat because it was just half and half in that yard. So there are going to be longer repeats. This will probably pool if you were to knit socks, or stripe. If you're lucky, it would stripe. And then I did try to reskein it. When you have long color repeats, you'll get still big blocks of color, but that's what it looks like reskeined. And so you'll see maybe how it will knit up. I really like this colorway. It reminds me of, the clay pots that everybody used to have. My grandmother used to have a stack of pots, and she always had really good potting soil, and so pot soil. Look at that. Terracotta Pot. And you can see a little bit more of the brown here, but really it's like a deep, 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 almost purple brown. But it goes really well with the tiger lily orange, so the terracotta orange, so we'll call it good. And then the last one, I had mentioned last week that I was going to hit the dye pots, and I immediately got a bunch of dancing nanners in my Plurk. Of course, everything, my whole life is on Plurk because that's all I use to update. And I said, I wonder if there's a dancing nanner colorway. And if there isn't, there really ought to be. And they're like, well, then why don't you dye it up? And I said, all right, fine. Consider it done. So this is the dancing nanner colorway. I was not very pleased with this yarn when I was finished with it. Okay, so in What Not to Wear, they tell you don't put brown and black together. So I tried to do an area of black, and then an area of yellow, and then brown, and then yellow, and then black, and then brown. The problem was that the black and the brown bled into the yellow a lot, so the yellow wasn't as vibrant as I wanted it. I wanted the yellow to be sort of a Hoo Boy bright yellow, and it ended up kind of blending with the browns and the blacks so that it's a lot more subtly shaded than the actual nanners would be if you were to see them. But I think it's kind of cute, actually. I like the way it goes. It kind of reminds me of, not really Bumblebee because there is brown in there. Let me let the camera actually focus on that for a second. Of course it won't probably. But hold them up against me, maybe you can see the colors better. I really like these. I like the way that they came out. You can see a lot of individual changes within a strand of yarn, and they change pretty quick. So similar to how the Heather's Dilemma was. So there probably wouldn't be a lot of pooling in this if you knit with it. I didn't knit a swatch, so I'm not really sure about that. But these are dancing nanners, and these will be available as well. If you like Plurk, if you're a Plurk fiend like I am, if you are on there Probably nobody's on there as much as I am. I basically leave it running all the time. I've got it on my phone. It's all over. If you love Clerk, like I love Clerk, then maybe this yarn's for you. Let me know what you think. All right, so that's the sock yarn. That will all be in Monday's update. Now, I also did a bunch of fiber, including silk. I haven't done silk in a few weeks because I was out. I did a whole bunch. And again, these are all one-offs. They're all just leftover dye. I didn't even write down what dyes were that made these, so I'm not going to be able to recreate them. In fact, I haven't named them yet. I need to pull up my happy little list here. Sorry for the sound of the clicking. Of the names. The names are Scotch Gaelic for trees. And since I've got the whole tree, thing going on here, I decided that that would be a good idea to keep them going. So, all right. This one is going to be called Gort, G-O-R-T. This was that same chocolate brown, and I don't know if you can tell, but it almost looks like desert camouflage. It's really faded taupes and silvery greens. It is very, it looks more brown to me in this light than it looks on yours. In yours screen, it looks a little bit more green. But, I mean, it's beautiful, and it's very subtle. But it's not chocolate brown. So this is going to be called Gort. This one is going to be called Uath, U-A-T-H. Bright blue. It's that peacock blue. I really played a lot with that bright peacock blue. And I'm sorry these are all in bags and they've got a ton of glare, but I've got a bunch of lights on because of the dark light of the storm. So that's Uath. That's bright blue. Oh, you know what? Where's the... Oh, no, it's right there. Okay. This one is called Iog or Eog, I-O-G-H. This is burgundy. There's little pops of blue in there, and they kind of almost tend toward violet. It's sort of a purpley blue. Let me see if it's easier to show you on this side. I already have these all braided and up in the plastic bags. I just haven't labeled them yet. And there's some undyed areas in that too, so you'd get a very broad variety of shades when you spin it, because the undyed areas will blend. I apologize for the sniffling. Oh my goodness, my mom would be horrified if she heard me. All right, and this one is Lewis, L-U-I-S. It's greens. It's almost like the maritime green, that sort of myrtle-y, sea-ish sort of green. And there's a couple of very tiny hints of a lighter green that's almost yellow. These are all 2 ounces in what's called a Tussa Silk Sliver. It's basically comb top, but in silk, it's called a sliver. And 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it for the silk. I am doing up one more Peacock silk that is drying upstairs right now, and that will be available as well. If you look in my sold items on Etsy, you'll see the Peacock. It came out pretty much the same, and so that will be up for sale as well. I did do also drying. I did 3 more of the Peacock in the Superwash Merino Tencel. This one is mine. I'm not selling this one. I didn't make it into the shop update. Don't know how that happened. Accident, maybe. So that one's mine. And I did 3 more of these, so these will be available for purchase. And last week I mentioned the Freya, but I didn't show it to you because it hadn't been dried and fluffed and all that. This is Freya. This is just like Poetic in the charcoal and silver, except Poetic is purple and Freya is that bright peacock blue. I'm sorry about this nose. I'm so sorry. Okay. The rest of the fiber I have, I dyed mostly not for the show, but for you guys. I had a couple of custom orders, and I love, like I said, I love doing the custom orders. I love, if I can, being able to help you out. So somebody did ask me for a colorway I'd done before called They're Not Brown, They're Hazel, because my eyes, they're not going to focus properly, or not brown. They're hazel. They look brown, but they're not brown. They're hazel. And I get so tired of telling my husband that my eyes aren't brown, they're hazel. So I dyed up a colorway called They're Not Brown, They're Hazel. And this is that colorway in Corriedale top. It looks mostly green to you, but it's actually a combo of greens and browns. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, stand in the way of the light, Heather, so that it doesn't get, yeah, that's fairly accurate. It'll be photographed better. My colors, according to what y'all are telling me, my colors are pretty accurate. So green and brown is the blend. They're Not Brown, They're Hazel. 2 of those. I also did Canopy in Falkland. I love Falkland. It's so nice. It's just soft and smushy, and it's just so pretty. And it takes the dye in a beautiful, almost translucent sort of way. Canopy is just a bunch of greens. They tend a little light. In fact, there's a couple areas that are almost golden. Again, hard to see because of the light today, because my light's blue, because I'm in Maine in the afternoon. But I love this stuff. It would be great. It'll make a great subtle green finished yarn. So I have 2 of those for sale. I did do 3 more of the Peacock in Corriedale. 1 of these or 2 of these. I'm going to do some more spindle kits. I'll probably do, I think I only have 1 big spindle, so I'm going to do 1 spindle kit, and I think it will be in the Peacock, because why not? Just because you're a newbie spinner does not mean that you don't deserve awesome looking top. So I did 3 more of these. This one is Alexia's, but the other 3 will be for sale. 1 will be in a kit, and the other 2 will be free for you if you like. I did also in the Falklands, somebody had said, I think it was Aaron and Steve, were talking about how much they love blue and brown, and I said, well, I'll do some chocolate blue and chocolate brown and some blue, and they'll love it and they'll buy it. I'm all about the enabling. But the chocolate brown dye that I used, again, was not well behaved. I think I may have actually forgotten to put the vinegar in this time because it came out purple. The bright blue is there, and then purple. Really? Chocolate brown? You're going to be purple? Really? Great. Thanks. And there's a couple of almost hints maybe of a tiny bit of green in there, but no, mostly it's just blue and purple. And I have 3 of them. They look exactly the same. This looked a lot to me when it dried of that Wait a Minute colorway I had done. It's a little bit lighter, but it's the same basic shades. So these are all Wait a Minute in Falkland. Again, from the saying in Maine here where it says, if you don't like the weather, wait a minute. I'm irritated. Chocolate brown, people. But really, dove, gray, purple. What? Yeah. Been a successful week for me. Those 3 are all Falkland, and they will be up in the shop on Monday's update as well. And then the last fiber that I did was Acadia, again, because I had a request. This Acadia is Falkland. I also did some in Corriedale. It's kind of hard to see the difference in the fibers, but you can feel the difference quite easily. Falkland is softer than the Corriedale for sure. The fibers are a little bit coarser in the Corriedale, so they don't feel scratchy, but they definitely you don't get that soft lusciousness like you do with the Falkland. So, and these are done in soft pink, light blue, undyed areas, green, and gray. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. So, Corriedale, Falkland. I think I'm going to have 1 or 2 of each of these, maybe 3, I don't remember. I think I have 1 in Falkland and 2 in Corriedale available. I think. Don't quote me on that. So that's what's been in the dye pot. I still gotta name the... I'm gonna have to listen to this again and write the names down because I don't remember what I just told you guys. So that'll all be a Monday's night's update. It will be Monday at 6. It will all update at once. I'm gonna have all of the listings done and they'll all be deactivated. So all I have to do is go through and click on Etsy and then click activate and they'll all pop up at the same time. Last week it took me, I wasn't quite ready because I had been at school all day and then I had to come home and load the pictures, and pictures take forever. So it was a little bit delayed, but this week they'll all go up at once and it'll be approximately 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm on vacation this week. Vacation doesn't really mean vacation when you're in ed tech like I am. It means a week of unpaid leave. I get paid for Monday. Monday is Patriots Day in Maine and Massachusetts. So I get paid for that day, and then the rest of the 4 days I just won't get paid for. Yeah, isn't it great? Not much I can do about it, really. I'm just going to try and make money through Highland Handmaids and hope for the best. Again, I have no show notes. Okay, so growing the business. I got a fantastic little thing in the mail this past week, and I have been waiting. Oh, I just wanted to talk about it so bad, but I opted to wait until this week and show you on the podcast. I got this little thingy mahooter right here. You can see there's like a little, it looks kind of like a whale almost, maybe. Like, and of course I have fiber on my hands. This little thing plugs into the top of my phone. With it, I can accept credit card payments at shows. Anywhere, really. If somebody walked up on the street and said, hey, I want to buy that, can I have it? I could swipe their credit card and have it. You do have to have a smartphone. It's iPhone or Android enabled. I have an Android. I knew that was going to count as a business expense, and I can totally deduct it. It's called Square Up, and I'll link the website in the show notes so you all can see it. It's I have looked a lot for a way to accept credit card payments, but every place I've looked, you have to pay, $30 a month for the service, then you have to buy the equipment, all to take what? I might take 2 orders by credit card, maybe a show. It's just not worth it. Financially, it would be a huge loss for me. So, I haven't done any of it. Square Up, however, is different because they've realized that there's a lot of people, farmers at farmer markets, people who do trade shows, things like that, that can't afford it, but would pay for a service if there was one that fit their needs. So what they do is they take 2.75% of a credit card transaction. So if I paid $1, they're going to keep 3 cents out of it. Okay. That's less than I pay Etsy and PayPal combined. That's less than I pay either one of them. I think Etsy takes out 3.5% or something ridiculous. It's less than that, and it enables me to take credit card payments. And then it will process it, and then all you do is you take your finger on the touch screen and sign your name, and it's done. And your account, it's updated daily. So it takes my bank a couple of days to put those funds in there, but that's not Square Up's issue. That's my issue. This little piton, this little thingy, card reader, free. I got it in 5 days. And the software, the application that you download to make it work, free. Didn't cost me anything. I only pay them money on the transactions that I sell or have. So really, if I don't make any credit card payments at a show, I'm not out anything. I don't owe them any money, which is fantastic. I don't know why Square Up is the first company to do this, but I hope the credit card companies are paying attention because, quite frankly, this awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. I am freakishly excited about this. I did test it with my own credit card first to see, so I kind of could talk intelligently about it when I get to the point where somebody needs to use it. I only spent $1 because I didn't want to lose the 2.75% because I'm too cheap. Isn't that awful? But yeah, this Square Up. If you do shows, you might want to get this. You might want to look into it. I did have my friend Minnie, she works at a credit card company, so she knows all about the licensing and the legalities of taking credit card payments, and she said that it looked like it. She kind of investigated and said that it looked legit and that it looked legal. Because I had never heard of them before. I'd never heard of Square Up. I didn't have any idea. Didn't know they existed. Somebody forwarded me a link, and I was like, man, this sounds too good to be true. Then I was afraid it was too good to be true, but turns out it's just awesome sauce. Oh, there's my husband. He's back with some Pepsi for my daddy. I guess that's really all I've got this week. Grabby hands. I thought I had something for grabby hands. Oh, grabby hands this week. It's all shows all the time. I got this at, move it so you can see my face. I got this at Home Depot a couple weeks ago. I showed you last week that I had got those grid walls and that they were 194 pounds. They were some ridiculously heavy equipment. So I got this. This is a dolly, but it's a collapsible dolly. So the whole thing only takes up that much room in the truck. So I don't have to worry about sliding it in and out like ridiculous. And all you do is pull the wheels out. Of course, I can't get it to do it right now. But the wheels pull out, and that tray here folds down. So, oh, look, it does it together. Look at that. I didn't even realize. So it all folds out like that. And then the handle telescopes so that you don't have to bend over for the whole thing. This cost $36, I think, and change. Right at Home Depot. I haven't used it yet. Obviously, I left the little thing on it so that you can see. It's called Magna-Cart. Holds 150 pounds. Extends to over 39 inches in height. And it folds flat for easy storage. I'll give you a more in-depth review when I finally do use this. But this is a way for me, once I get the racks out of the truck, for me to transport them without killing myself. The distance that it will take to get to where I'm going to set up shop. So, that's the Grabby Hands for this week. I feel like I had more to say this week than that, but without show notes, I have absolutely no idea. So I think I'm going to say goodbye for this week, guys. Update will be tomorrow night, Monday night, oh my lord, April 18th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go there quick and get it while you can. If you want to speak to me or message me, you can email me at heather@highlandhandmaids.com. I'm on Ravelry and Plurk as Boutros Babe, BOUTROSBABE. I'm also on Twitter as Fiberista Files. I feel like I'm in more places than that, but that's what I can think of off the top of my head. So, hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're enjoying spring. Looks like the rain's finally starting to let up. It's about 37 degrees outside, so I'm not really going to go out and test it. But hopefully, since I'm off this week, we'll get some sunshine and buttercups because I need it. I guess just have a good week, guys. Happy spinning and knitting, and thanks for tuning in.